We are live, ladies and gentlemen, coming straight from North Carolina. We got some big information to talk about today on today's live. We're going to cover two huge topics. Is it going to be a good thing for the IRS to end? I know a lot of people are talking about that. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that one. And also, we are literally days away from some major changes in credit scoring that a lot of people need to know. Literally 2 days away. So we're going to cover those on today's live. Let's get some people in the room. Hit that like button so we can get more people to come in here, so we can get this thing going, start talking. I'm going to cover these topics, and then at the end, I'm going to have a Q&A so you can ask as many questions as you would like. And then I'll try to stay on as long as we can rock in here and do it in here and answer as many questions as we possibly can, because it's all about you. So yeah, tell me where you're at, where you're from. I'm in North Carolina. I was born and raised in East Los Angeles, the Whittier, Bell Gardens area, Bell, around that way. So I'm a West Coast boy, live on the East Coast now, North Carolina. I miss California, but I do not miss those prices. I'll tell you that right now. So tell me where you're at if you are in the room. Chicago in the house. There we go. To Arkansas. Appreciate it, Aaron. Oh, Credit Speak in the house. What up, everybody? Tell us where you're at. There we go. Wisconsin. Appreciate it. New Jersey, New York, North Carolina. Appreciate everybody showing up. There we go. ATL. Washington, D.C., Georgia. Just found me today. Good stuff. Thanks. Appreciate it, Chicago. I see you over there, Jamie. Rochester, Nashville, Chicago, Las Vegas. Born and raised in San Diego. Moved to Florida. I love San Diego. San Diego's amazing. That border life is kind of wild, man. Like, you could just literally walk across the border if you really wanted to. I love it. All right, Southgate, Tennessee. We got North Carolina to Texas, California, though. Why are you so big on Mexican stuff? We're all Americans. Bro, kick rocks, man. If you don't like it, man, I'm Latino. Okay? I'm Latino. This is my channel. Like, yeah, you're gonna go. We're gonna go ahead and just ban that person right there. Don't even want you on here. That negativity. Hit that like button. West Pennsylvania, Chicago. Big hug from Detroit, Texas, New Jersey, Fort Lauderdale, Minnesota. Well, Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota. Yeah, man, we're not gonna have any negativity, man. It's all positive vibes on this channel, man. Y'all want to take that somewhere else, because we got nothing but great information to give to you guys out here. Working really hard to make sure that we bring you always solid information that can help you grow, and more importantly, increase that credit score. Tell us where you're at. Huntington Park in the high. Oh my God, I love Mexican food. Who doesn't like Mexican food? That's the thing. It's like, you want to talk trash, but I'll see you in that Mexican restaurant. So he probably has a negative score, bro. Latin is Gucci, baby. It's all good. That's right. There we go. Minnesota, Cali. Let's go. Let's get it popping, ladies and gentlemen. First off, let's talk about the IRS, man. Who is ready for the IRS to go away? Let's talk about that. Trump wants to get rid of the IRS. A lot of people are for it. Some people are not. And people are like, what does that really mean? So, yeah, let's talk about the factors. Shout out to the Latinos out there. Brown pride all day long. I got a new t-shirt line that's going to be rolling out to help the Latino culture. All proceeds will go straight to that. Straight to that. Now, remember, we're going to do a Q&A at the end of the live. So stick around. Stick with it. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to answer all your questions, as many as I can. It's hard for me to keep up with it, but I'm gonna work on it. Okay, guys. Someone always got to be an ass for real, man. Yeah. So let's see. Now we're gonna talk about the IRS, because this is a huge deal, ladies and gentlemen. You know, a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Let's keep it 100. Our finances suck in 2025, 2024, 2023. Some people may be doing better than others, but at the end of the day, if the IRS gets abolished, it's a huge deal. I mean, what are some of the things that actually drive the U.S. government at the end of the day? One of the biggest ones is income taxes. So we want to get rid of the income taxes. I think that's great. Nobody has income taxes. Then you have payroll taxes. That's another huge one. You know, business owners out there, a lot of employees may not know this, or some people may. Every time you get taxes taken out of your check, as a business owner, we have to pay on top of what you pay. We pay more, which is wild, right? So it's double paying. It's like a double dip. It's insane. Then, of course, you have capital gains. Capital gains is huge. Capital gains is like if you sell your house and there's a difference that you made so much money, any of your investments, including crypto, stocks, 401k, stuff like that, those are capital gains. Then you have property taxes. I don't know about anybody out there, but it would be great if they got rid of property taxes. It makes no sense. You spend all this money on a house, and then every year you got to pay them taxes just to live here. And this is the crazy thing that nobody talks about with own a home. Once you're done paying your home, you still have to pay property taxes. So it'd be great if property tax went away. That would be a great one. Then there's sales tax. Pay attention to that one, ladies and gentlemen. Sales tax is important. And a lot of people don't like it, but it is what it is. But we're going to come back to sales tax. Everything you purchase is going to have a tax on it. So you go to the grocery store, you go buy dinner. I mean, there's a sales tax on dinner. That's wild, right? Any kind of goods you purchase, electronics, appliances, furniture, everything has a sales tax. It feels like almost. It's like we're getting taxed to death. What do they say? There's only two things that are certain in life: death and taxes. So yeah, so then the sixth one is tariffs. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, tariffs. So the idea here is Donald Trump's idea is, and listen, we're not going to get political. We're just going to talk about the facts because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But think about it. So the idea is to tariff the hell out of everybody. Yes, you heard me right. Tariff every other country in order to get rid of the IRS. But there's one part that they're leaving out that they're not talking about out loud, but it's been discussed, is raising sales tax. So think about it like this. Everything's going to have a tax already. It's like 3% to 8%. Some other states are more than others. But the federal tax would jump up across the board to everything. So yes, it's great. We're going to have more money in our pocket from our paycheck. We're not going to get hit in the head. So you wouldn't have your income taxes that come out of your paycheck, and then business owners wouldn't have to pay that payroll tax. But what if I told you your sales tax was going to be 50%? Or let's say even on a good note, let's say it's 25%. But in order to get rid of all of those tax revenue driving items, which are 6 items, we're not going to get rid of tariffs. That's going to be the driving point. But if you get rid of 5 of them, and let's say you just leave one, which is sales tax, it's highly unlikely that you would be paying 25% sales tax on everything. So it would be anywhere from 25% and above. So there's other countries out there that do this, and it's not uncommon. They don't charge income tax, but they charge a higher tax on everything else. And it sounds crazy to us Americans, but then you're thinking about, yo, let's get rid of this income tax. It's kind of crazy. Let's get rid of it. Why are we still doing this? Because again, we get taxed to death. East Los Angeles house, there you go. Bell Rise, Flat, Texas. Appreciate everyone coming to the live. Hit that like button, everybody. Cook County taxes are outrageous. I can imagine that. So yeah, tell me what your taxes look like. If you're homeowners out there, have your taxes gone up? I know that they're going up in Florida, Texas, New York, Washington right now. California's always been outrageous, but Philly, Charlotte. So yeah, so the thought process is that Americans would have more money in their pockets, but if everything else becomes expensive, the middle class and the poor will get pushed out. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. People that are wealthy and that are making over $300,000 a year are not going to be affected by this because it's going to be kind of like a little blimp on them. Okay, I got to pay a little bit extra for everything, but I have the money. But people that are making less than $60,000 a year, already living paycheck to paycheck, there's even people living, that are making only $30,000 a year. So that would cause everything to drive higher. Everything would become much more expensive. So are Americans prepared for that? Tell me in the comments, are you prepared, or what would you prefer? Tell me this. Would you prefer the IRS to go away and then you have a higher sales tax on everything else, all the way up to possibly 50%? What would you Jamie came in there, lower weed tax. Wisconsin has no sales tax, but I live in Illinois. Okay. The last part is always the most important. So tell me in the comments, would you prefer end the IRS and then just pay a higher sales tax across the board? You got to buy a car, you're going to pay 30% more for that car. You want to buy a washer or dryer, you want to buy a couch, you want to buy some glasses, a hat, whatever it may be, you're just going to pay more for it. Would you prefer it to be that you're going to come more out of pocket for those items? Pay people a livable wage. That's a huge one. Of course. 50%, no way. I mean, listen, I don't want it to be 50%, But you have to think about all of the items that you're going to get rid of. You're going to get rid of income tax, payroll tax, capital gains, property tax. You're getting rid of 4 revenue driving items because the IRS collects on average $3 to $4 trillion a year in tax revenue. You heard that right. $3 to $4 trillion a year in tax revenue from being taxed by the IRS. So it has to be replaced somewhere, right? So yeah, California's already raising their sales tax. That's a great point. I did see that. We're going from 10.25 to 1050. Yes. Oh my God. Let's put this one up on the screen right here. This is a huge one. Yeah. Give us free healthcare. Like, what's going to happen with us not having to pay these taxes? Are we going to be in the position to get free healthcare? I think it should be that. We should be in that position. I mean, it's not just me. I know it's everyone else. I'll give you a great example today. I'll tell a little quick personal story. Today I went to the eye doctor. I had to get my 1-year checkup. And I'm like, yo, every year, because I was going to put new lenses in some other glasses I have. And they're like, oh, your prescription's expired. You need a new prescription. I'm just like, every year y'all hit me with this. This is ridiculous. But, you know, I'm paying out of pocket because it makes no sense for me to carry vision insurance that barely covers anything. It can range anywhere from like $10 to $30 a month to give me 1 eye exam a year, and then I have to pay everything else. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Same thing with health insurance. I'm paying over $400 a month just in health insurance for just in case, okay, for my 3 children. That's kind of wild to think about. How much are all of our people out there paying for health insurance? Let that one sink in. Or if you even have health insurance, okay? It's pretty crazy, right? So tell me, yeah, free healthcare sounds good. Tuition cost. That's for another video. Getting rid of the education department is a completely different video. Yeah, give us free dental care. I think vision and dental should be free. I like, right? I don't think that dentists make a crazy amount of money. Not to say that they don't, but they do make a decent amount of money. And you know, vision doctors, what are they called? Optometrists? I couldn't think of it. I was just there. An optometrist makes a decent amount of money. But then think about this. This is something that nobody ever puts into perspective about doctors. No matter what field they're in, they had to pay for school 4 years, 8 years, 6 years, depending on what their profession is. So now they're in massive student loan debt while they're trying to run and actually have their own location. That's pretty insane. On top of that, they have families they're trying to live. I couldn't imagine that amount of student loan debt. Like, someone that wants to be a doctor is usually over $200,000 in student loan debt. That's pretty wild. But yeah, $500 a month, own my own business, and I have it through my wife's job. That's insane. That's crazy. Just in case. I pay for myself all out of pocket. It just doesn't make any sense to me. If I have to go to the doctor, I'll do like one of those what are they called? The televisits. It's like $120. And so think about it like this: if I were to pay for more health insurance for myself, so on top of the $400 a month, then I would have to pay more. So I'm probably would be easily pushing over $500 a month just in healthcare for just if. Then I have to pay the deductible. I'm out over $700 just to go to the doctor when I just paid out of pocket $120. Does that make any sense to anybody? It doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna start selling eggs. That's right. We're gonna start selling eggs. Everybody pays $800 a month for dental, vision, and healthcare. Do y'all hear that? Let's put that up on the screen. That's insane. $800 a month. That's insane for dental, vision, and health. I mean, why don't we have any type of healthcare reform? That doesn't make any sense. But I want everyone to put that in perspective about the IRS being abolished. It would be great, but the cost of everything would skyrocket. And the idea is that tariffs would pick up all that and then drive the economy. But you have to think about, if this is a 4-year term, you want manufacturers to come here and rebuild everything here in 4 years. It's virtually impossible. Because on top of that, you're raising the tariffs on steel and lumber. So now the construction to build that manufacturing plant is like exponentially much higher. Let that sink in. I was like, okay, so we want to drive them here, but the lumber and the steel to build said manufacturing plant is going to be outrageous. Then on top of that, the labor costs are going to be much higher because we want what? Livable wages. And we're all for that. We're all for livable wages, but at the end of the day, that's going to drive the cost of everything up. There's no way that's going to keep it down. But we will keep the jobs in America, which there's some things that I believe that should just be made in other countries, and we could just pay a cheaper price, like a t-shirt. Like a t-shirt, the cost of one t-shirt to get it from somewhere else in another country is, $2 to $5 versus making it in the United States and getting it for $12 to $15. That's astronomically different. But yeah. Just want to talk about that and really put it on the table so everyone can really everyone really understand it and go over it. Now, also, I want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there. Anybody that's using Dispute Beast to fix their credit, want to give a special shout out to everyone out there. Now, there is a 110% money back guarantee on Dispute Beast. Give a special shout out to Ashley. Ashley's credit score went up 218 points after 2 rounds with Dispute Beast. Then you have Julio. Julio's credit score went up 266 points after just 1 round with Dispute Beast. That's 47 points on TransUnion, 80 points on Experian, and 139 points on Equifax. That's pretty crazy. Then we have Hope. Hope's credit score went up 201 points after 1 round with Dispute Beast. That's insane. 99 points with TransUnion, 36 points with Experian, 66 points with Equifax. And then we're not just going to stop there, ladies and gentlemen. We're not just going to stop there, okay? Check it out. These are all of our crazy updates right here. These are all our 1-rounders. So you got Elena's credit score went up 120 points. Floor, 57. Nancy, 125. Jency, 243 points. Christelle, 195 points. Malin, 389 points. And Richard, 374. I mean, but we'll go all the way down and see, like, one person just got one point credit score increase. You have 11 points, 121, 25, 14, 38, 86. We're not just going to talk about the small ones, but we're also going to talk about the big ones and all the ones in between because we get real results here, okay? So Dispute Beast is going to be in the video description for anyone that needs it, and I'm going to drop it in the comments section also for anybody that needs it. If you have never used anything like this, this is very, very simple. This isn't your traditional DIY. You upload your documents, 2 pieces of documents, and then you click the button to import your credit report. It does everything for you. And then you can mail your letters inside using Dispute Beast, or you can print them and mail them on your own. And then remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're the only software that comes with a 110% money back guarantee. Now, someone said check mine. I can't check it right now because then I have to log into all that. If not, I would. So yeah, the cost is $49.99 a month. If you would like to mail your letters inside of Dispute Beast, there's an additional cost, of course, because you have to print and mail your letters for you. But this is the difference in what Dispute Beast does. It's just literally a 1 click and you're done. And then you choose to print and mail, and then you're done. It's in English and in Spanish. Now, a huge difference with Dispute Beast is the 1 click. And then the biggest one also is it doesn't just attack with the 3 credit reporting agencies, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. It attacks all 12 credit reporting agencies. And it also attacks the creditors if necessary. It also will put verbiage in there because there are active lawsuits against Equifax and Experian and TransUnion, I think. I can't remember which ones. I think it's Equifax and TransUnion, sorry. Not Experian. Not right now, I don't think. So, no, it's 12 furnishers, fam. It's 12, I promise you. I'll go over the list, okay? You want me to go over the list? I'll go over the list. So give me a second. Give me a second, okay? So let me see. Let me pull up my list. Because I got lists for everything. So let's see. Let me go find it real quick. Where are we at? There's definitely 12 furnishers out there that a lot of people don't even know exist. They don't use them the majority of the time. They don't attack with them because a lot of people just don't understand. So there's Innovis, Clarity, and SageStream. That's 6 so far. If I could just find the other ones, give me a second. Where are you? I have so many notes in here. Here we go. All right. You have LexisNexis, LCI, Anovis, ARS, Credco, Clarity, DataX, Microbuilt, and Factor Trust, plus Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. That is a total of 12, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So yeah, this is the only system that attacks all 12. Each round is 35 to 45 days at maximum. And then you just go in there, you click a button, you refresh, send out your next round of letters. It doesn't matter what they say. Always remember this. The system is going to see what has happened, if there are changes or there are no changes. You don't have to do anything except for click that button and keep it pushing and go back to doing your regular everyday life. And DisputeBeast is going to do everything else for you. Remember that. And you can just print your letters and mail them on your own, or you can pay the extra fee to have them mailed for you. I think it's almost identically the same cost that you would pay if you went to the postal service, but you don't have to leave your house. You just click a button and you're done. So it's very important to understand that. So I just want to talk about DisputeBeast there for a second for anyone that needs it. Link is going to be in the comments and pinned in the video description for anybody that needs it. Okay. Now it will attack any negative item. We're talking about collections, charge-offs, late payments, medical collections, bankruptcies, repossessions, student loans in default, child support, hard inquiries. Anything negative hurting your credit, DisputeBeast is going to go find it and attack it for you. And you just sit back and let it do its job. It's just that simple. I know it sounds crazy, but it was built to basically be simplified and the easiest system to ever use. And I am an owner of DisputeBeast, in case everybody was wondering. We worked really hard to build this system to give you something that's inexpensive, powerful, and just super simple. Just really, honestly. So let's move on to the other bigger subject that we need to talk about. Let me pull it up real quick. Oh, where'd you go, man? All right. The other big subject in 2 days, ladies and gentlemen, 2 days. This is the other big subject we need to talk about. Remember, keep your questions for the end, ladies and gentlemen, because it'll kind of distract me. I want to get this out of the way so I can get you guys and answer you guys' question. I'll go back into the comment section, but just wait, hold off for me, stay with me, hit the like button, and then I'm going to come back. I promise. I'm not going to leave you hanging. But the other biggest thing in 2 days, on March 15th, March 17th, medical collections are no longer going to be allowed to report. Now, this was something that was done by the Biden administration before they left. Now, it takes approximately 60 days for it to go into effect. So it was on January 7th. Here, I'll put it up on the screen right here. Now, a lot of people are confused about this, okay? DisputeBeast will attack any old names and addresses, and it works to try to correct that personal information. It does all of it, everybody. You don't have to worry about anything, okay? So just remember that. If it's hurting your credit, if it doesn't match your driver's license or utility bill that you put on file, it's going to attack it, okay? But this is a huge one. Okay, a lot of people are confused about medical bills. Now, previous to this, the Biden administration put into effect that anything that was less than $500 could not report on your credit report. So if you have medical collections that are less than $500, they're not supposed to be on your credit reports, ladies and gentlemen. Now, anything past $500 could report. Okay, now also paid medical collections could not report. So if you paid a medical collection, they have to delete it. So if you have the means to do that, that could be an easy way. But in 2 days, no medical collections are supposed to be on your credit reports, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that. No medical collections on your credit reports. This is a huge deal because on average, we're going to see people that have collections on their credit reports are going to see massive credit score increases, anywhere from 40 to 120 points, depending on how many medical collections they have. That's the crazy part about this entire situation. Now, the amount of medical collections on credit reports is astounding. Okay, $49 billion in medical debt on credit reports currently. I'm going to say this again: $49 billion in medical debt is on credit reports right now. That's insane. In 2 days, it's all going to disappear. This is affecting over 15 million Americans. You heard me right. Over 15 million Americans. That is crazy. So a lot of people are going to see relief when this comes off their credit report. Now, you need to go and make sure that everything on your credit report is accurate, fair, and complete. But you need to monitor your credit report and watch it like a hawk. Now, I use something, and there's a 14-day trial for it. I've been using it for close to 4 years now. I'm going to drop it in the comment section here in a second. Give me 1 second. I can pull it up. If I could just find it. Where is it? Where did you go? But you need to pay attention to any changes that are happening on your credit report, and this will let you know within less than 5 minutes if something has hit your credit report or something has changed. Now, it told me when there was a data breach and my information was actually breached, and I was able to lock up my information immediately. That was pretty crazy. I'm going to drop it in the comments section right here. It's for Aura. There's a 14-day trial for anybody that wants to try it. I believe it's like $9.99 for one person, and then it's like 20-something for a whole, $29.99 for a whole family. So I have myself covered, my wife, and my 3 kids, because identity theft is huge, and I'm talking about huge with children, because parents don't pay attention to until their kids turn usually 17 or 18. And there could be like a car, a house, and that person in your child's name. It's pretty insane. So I haven't seen anything crazy for my kids, which is great. But Aura has been protecting me for close to 4 years now. I believe in November it's going to be 4 years. So I would suggest that you protect your information and watch it like a hawk. Now you can also push the data brokers to stop collecting and selling your information, because there are data brokers that are selling your information to other companies that are making profits off of it. Literally with one click inside of Aura, you can stop them and basically tell them they cannot sell your information anymore, and you block them. And if they find any of your information anywhere, they're going to block that company and tell them, yo, cease and desist. You cannot put any of my information out there. You cannot sell it. You have no permission to have my data. That is huge. Data brokers sell your information every single day. A big part that a lot of people don't understand is the credit reporting agencies make money off of your information. The more that they can keep your credit score down, and the more you're an actual subprime borrower, that means you have a low credit score and you're going to have a high interest rate. The credit reporting agencies make so much money off of your information, keeping your credit score down. And what they do is they sell that information to the subprime lenders. So that's why you get an email, you get a letter in the mail, you'll literally get a text message trying to offer you a crappy credit card. Don't take any of those offers. Have Aura opt you out of all of those data brokers so you stop getting that junk mail, you stop getting spammed. It's a huge deal. There is no 14-day trial for dispute beast, unfortunately. Yeah. Well, you have to look at it like it depends on if you're doing the personal or the family. For a family, I mean, is it really worth it for you to protect your entire family? To me, it is. To me, it is, because in the Latino culture, identity theft is huge. Okay, I'm just keeping it 100. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. In the Latino culture, identity theft is huge, and so I'm really huge on protecting my family. It's worth it for me. So you have to do it. Break it down per month. What's the cost of it per month? $9 for a person, and then let's say $30 a month. Yes, it is a little pricey, but at the end of the day, you're protecting your information. So that's what's valuable to me. So yeah, and listen, we're gonna put this up on the screen right here because this is huge. Let me take this off real quick. Let me remove this, the medical debt. No, we'll just put this up on the screen like this. This is huge right here. Okay, what Jamie just said right here, Doge is solely meant to mine data. I've talked about this in other videos, and I talked about it in shorts. Your data is so valuable. They want to get into these systems and get your data and then use it into their systems. Information is a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's how they make their money. Now, let's say, for instance, ChatGPT, let's say Grok. All these systems are running off of information. The more information they have, the data of your spending, what cards you're using, what you're applying for, what you're buying, what banks you're banking with, how much money is your bank account. All of that information is worth billions of dollars. So Jamie right here is spot on. She's not lying. It's literally meant to mine your data. So I believe the information at the Treasury Department was blocked, and I believe the Social Security information was also blocked. And this is going to be a big fight. There's going to be all kinds of crazy cases about this. Gee, let me get a drink of water here. But I can't stress enough to you guys, monitor your data, because there's going to be massive changes that are going on, and you do not want to slip up and leave your information out there for anybody to steal it. And let's go back to medical collections. Now, if you have a medical collection on your credit report, I want you to attack it. You can dispute it on your own, or you can use dispute beast, whatever you want to use for it, but you want to attack it. Now, I'm going to put up a letter in the video description. I'm sorry. I'll put it in the video description also for everyone later on once I get off the live. But I'm going to put it in the comment section. Oh, here we go. Sorry. I'm going to just copy and paste this letter into the comment section. So give me a second. Yeah, the whole thing of like getting rid of the Social Security Department is crazy to me. Like, it makes no sense. Like, what? You want to get rid of Social Security? This dude called it entitlement. Yo, we pay into that. We work hard and we pay into Social Security. How can you call it an entitlement? That's not an entitlement. We're literally paying into it for a reason. Same thing with Medicare, Medicaid. I mean, it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Dude is wild, man. I'm actually going to put this letter up on the screen right here too. So here you go. If you have any medical collections, pause this video, screenshot it, and you could just send this very simply. You don't have to put any crazy jargon, any crazy mumbo jumbo in there. You don't have to do any of that, okay? So literally, like, you're just going to put simple information. Due to the recent changes in credit reporting, the CFPB has officially banned all medical collections. Please delete all of these medical collections listed below. Collection name, amount, account number. I expect you will expeditiously delete these accounts within 30 days. Thank you for your help and attention to this matter. Your signature, name, address, last four of your social, date of birth. You need to include a copy of your driver's license and a utility bill. Utility bill can be gas, light, water, cell phone bill, car insurance, car registration, bank statements, or a pay stub. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it right there. Yes. Let me see. What do you say? Pay stub will also work. That's right. So yeah, this is a very simple letter you send to the credit reporting agencies to delete this from your credit reports. Now here's the biggest problem that we're gonna potentially have. Okay, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. The CFPB is currently closed. Now the CFPB plays no role in the credit disputing process. Understand that. The CFPB is a complaint center. Let's put up the CFPB's actual thing right here so you can see it. So the CFPB is a complaint center, but the problem right now is the CFPB is on pause. It is completely shut down. The employees are not in there. The only people that are working there are Doge employees, and they're routing calls to Doge employees and a very few CFPB employees. They are not to take action on anything right now, which is kind of wild. Okay. So, there could be a chance, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys, there could be a chance that they reverse this rule, because this is a rule, and they said to stop all rules and any actions until they review them all. Now, the CFPB has dismissed some cases, some very large cases. I'm not going to get into that. We'll do that on another live. Maybe we'll do it next week. But there is a huge chance they could reverse this rule. I want everyone to be prepared here. Nobody else is saying the truth. Nobody else is talking about this, but I'm going to tell you and give you the whole cold hard truth, because you need to hear it. It's very important to understand this may work. The clock is ticking. Literally, we're 2 days away. If you have medical collections, you need to dispute them as soon as possible using that letter, because the lawsuit, not lawsuit, but the rule is about to be in effect. And you can go ahead and already start disputing them right now using that verbiage from what is supposed to happen, okay? See, someone is asking for the link again, so let's put this up here 1 second. I'll drop the link for Dispute Beast right here for you again, my friend. There's Dispute Beast is right there. Just dropped it for you. Yeah. Can Dispute Beast remove paid charge-offs? I can't legally tell you what Dispute Beast can or cannot delete, because that would be misleading you. But it has deleted paid charge-offs, regular charge-offs, collections, repossessions, late payments. student loans and defaults. I mean, just about everything you can imagine. DisputeBeast has been at it now for over a year that DisputeBeast has been rolled out, and we did the beta testing a year and a half before that. So it's been doing an amazing job. Where was that list? I had a list. Let's see, where did it go? But yeah, the different levels of items it's deleted is pretty crazy. But again, a lot of people always ask that question: can you delete this? Can it delete? Legally, I can't say that because I would be misleading you. You don't want me lying to you, and I'm just not going to do it. I'm much more ethical than that. But yeah, so you're looking at collections, charge-offs, late payments, medical collections, bankruptcies, repossessions, student loans in default, child support, hard inquiries. Any negative account that's hurting your credit, it's going to attack it. Also, any names or addresses that do not match your information on file, it will attack that also. That's very important to understand. All right, let me see where we at. So you guys got the letter for the actual medical collections. Also, because medical collections are going to be removed from your credit reports, this is something else you guys need to understand that's going on. The collection companies and the debt collectors and these hospitals are going to lose leverage because they're using your credit reports to leverage it to hurt your credit. It shouldn't hurt your credit because it's medical collections are not an extension of credit. They never gave you any credit. You went into a hospital and got services. It has nothing to do with credit. It shouldn't even be on your credit report, which is wild. But if they lose their leverage, they're going to start to initiate more lawsuits against consumers. So there's two companies that I'm going to put in the comments section. I'm sorry, in the comment section. You put those in there. One is called $4.org. This is a free nonprofit. $4.org will figure out if they can reduce your medical bills or get them forgiven completely. Okay. Then you have healthcare reform. There's different types of other free services that you can use there to try to figure out how to lower your bill or get it wiped out altogether. Those are two very great resources for anybody that has medical collections, because even if it's removed from your credit report, if a medical collection is removed, you still owe the money. They can still sue you. Now, they cannot sue you if the statute of limitations runs out. The statute of limitations is going to vary from state to state. So as an example, in the state of North Carolina, the statute of limitations on any type of debt is 3 years. If they don't collect or sue within those 3 years, they cannot sue you after the statute of limitations has actually ended. So what you can do is you can Google statute of limitations for debt in the state of Georgia, statute of limitations of debt in the state of California for credit card debt, auto loan debt, and it will tell you what the statute of limitations is. And it starts from when you receive your services for a medical collection. That's when the clock starts. Okay, everybody? I want to be really clear on that. But share those links with your friends if you know friends that have medical collections, so they can get them either on a payment plan or either just possibly get them wiped out. $4.org is a nonprofit, costs $0, and they do amazing work. They're getting millions of dollars of debt just wiped away because they're using the system to help you consumers. The statute of limitations for NYC is actually 3 years. It just changed. I think it was like 2 years it just changed. Yeah. Oh, we got a spammer in the comments. We got to block this user. Crazy, man. Y'all crazy in there. But yeah, so now it's your time. Go ahead and drop your questions in the comment section. You got any questions you want from me? I'm going to try to scroll up, see if I see anything. I see something right here. Look up CFPB versus ViStar Credit Union, October 2024. That was a case I did not go over, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I'll go back, I'll look into it, and I'll see if I can find some more information and come back and talk about it. DisputeBeast is a game changer, correct, Terry Floyd? Appreciate that. I'm gonna go through the comment section real quick, see if I can find some questions you guys might have in there. All right, let's see. I'm gonna scroll up. Let me scroll up. I wish someone would steal my identity. I don't want it. Yes, you can use DisputeBeast and Aura at the same time, because Aura is going to help protect your information, and the DisputeBeast is a completely different platform that is going to help you dispute and attack any negative items that are hurting your credit. Let me see. All right. If you have a secured card and it shows as a charge off, can you sue? No. Like, there's no basis to sue there. Unfortunately, secured card, they should reduce the total amount based on whatever you put on your secured card, but it can still say that it's a charge off if you defaulted on it. It's really based on the terms and conditions that was in your agreement, but that's pretty standard. So why, when they remove a 30-day late payment, your credit score drops? Because that payment is pulled out. Even if it's a late payment, it's still holding some type of weight. So every late payment is different. So you have a 30-day, a 60-day, a 90, and a 120-day late. And then, is it? No, sorry. I just skipped the whole one. It's 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 120, and then 180, and then charge off. Charge off is in the 6th month. So each one of those hold a certain amount of weight. So a 30-day is not going to be as bad as a 120-day late, if that makes any sense. So that's why it holds a different situation, if that makes sense. Save water. I am saving water, bro. I hope that makes sense, okay? Yes, Dispute Beast does attack hard inquiries. And so with Dispute Beast will look at how old the late payment is, because once it's past 4 years, it's not affecting your score as much, and it may not be worth you to attack it. Because what we actually want Dispute Beast to do is to reverse it to on time paid as agreed. Let me repeat that. You want to reverse it to on time paid as agreed. That's why we don't want to delete it. We want to update it to on time paid as agreed. Give you that another little positive on time payment history, and that will help your credit score. It should, unless you're carrying really high utilization and you have a buttload of collections on your credit report. Okay. So yeah, that's exactly what happens to it. When I purchased my car, it added like 15 inquiries. It's crazy. So you can attack all the inquiries that are not attached to your car loan. Okay. If that makes sense. So if you got your car at Honda and then they ran your credit like 15 times somewhere else, but you got the deal with Honda, don't attack the hard inquiry that is actually from Honda, but attack all the other ones. This is why you never, ever, ever let a dealership run your credit. Shop the loan first and then go shop the car second. Okay? Everyone listen up. Stop going to dealerships and applying for credit. Shop your loan first and shop the rate. Okay? Because you can actually use a lot of different companies to see if you're approved and what you may be approved for, and there's absolutely no hard inquiry. But you go to the dealership, they're going to shotgun your credit. If you don't have the best credit, if your credit is below a 680 or a 660, they're going to shotgun your credit because they want to get you in the car. They don't give a damn about what the interest rate is. They want to get you in the car, okay? So Dispute Beast can attack any negative item that is on your credit report, including charge-offs, including paid charge-offs. Remember, I can't say whether or not it can delete it because that's illegal, and I'm not going to try to break any laws here, okay? I want to mislead you. All right, here we go. High 700 scores, but still getting small credit line on new credit cards. How to get larger credit lines on new credit cards. Oh, let's put this up on the screen. This is a great question. I love this question from Scott here on Facebook. So high 700 scores, but getting still small credit lines on new credit cards. How to get larger credit lines. He wants to get higher credit limit credit cards or higher lines of credit. So there's only one way to do this. See, this is the biggest mistake that everyone makes, okay? They go get a credit card for $300 or $500 from Capital One, First Premier, Credit One. Stay away from all that trash. Go to a credit union, preferably like Navy Federal. Navy Federal is a massive credit union, okay? Listen to what I'm saying. Bank with a credit union, a big credit. Let me find a list of my favorite credit unions here, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen. So give me 1 second, and then I'm gonna really break down how to get to those high limit credit cards. I love this question because it's a really good question. So let me find best credit unions because I have a list that I've compiled over the time. Where are we at? Here we go. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and then we're going to put it up on the screen so we can leave it up there for a good amount of time for everyone to see it and everyone to write it down. So give me a second. I got to do all this crazy stuff. But yeah, you have to bank with a credit union. I cannot stress this enough to everybody out there. Stop banking with these banks that don't care about you, because they truly don't care about you. They're not in the business of giving people with bad credit anything. You got to have great credit to get yourself anywhere. Entry level for anything is going to be a 660. That was before all this nonsense with the economies going on. Now they're pushing it to a 725. Too many people are getting declined more than ever. They're getting declined for credit limit increases more than ever because the economy is in a completely different position. And when they're looking at underwriting, they want that credit score to be much higher. So let me put this up on the screen. Give me 1 second. And then we'll get into it. So you want to be a 725 and higher. All right, here we go. So we got Navy Federal, Andrews Federal Credit Union, NIH Federal Credit Union, Langley Credit Union, NASA Federal Credit Union, DCU. Apple Federal Credit Union is questionable right now. We're having issues with them. So just keeping it real. Okay. Let's see where Scott's here so I could take his. All right. So yeah. Where'd you go? Here we are. I'm gonna take you off for a second, Scott. All right. So you have Patelco, Liberty Federal Credit Union, and Dover Federal Credit Union. What you want to do is you want to open up a savings and a checking account. Put as much money as you can into your savings. Don't touch it. That's what they want to see. Put as much money as you can into your checking. Then you want to do a direct deposit. Do all of that, and then you want to do a secured loan. The secured loan is going to be for a minimum term of 12 to 24 months. The least you should do is 24 months. Now, the amount is going to vary from credit union to credit union. It could be $200, $250, all the way up to $10,000 that you could do this with, okay? So let's say hypothetically it's $500. You're going to give them your $500, and then you're going to open up a secured loan. It's your money. Now, they're going to say, hey, can we put it on auto payment for you? And they say, no, don't put it on auto payment. I'm going to make my first payments. You're going to make your payments until it hits your credit report. Once the secured loan hits your credit report, you're going to call the actual credit union. And you're going to tell them, hey, I would love to pay off 80 to 90% of the loan, and then I want to put the remaining amount on auto payment for the remainder of the loan. And then that right there is going to make your relationship with the credit union shoot to the moon, because every credit union has what's called an internal credit score. Do this for a minimum of 6 to 8 months. If you do it for a full 12, you're going to get even a higher chance of getting a high limit credit card. Credit unions are the secret to getting to high limit credit cards if you don't start with them. Because the biggest mistake that people make is they go after those small limit credit cards, and then whenever you apply for credit, it's not based on your credit score, it's based on your experience and your ability to repay. So if you only have $300, $500, $600 credit limits on your credit profile, then the next bank is going to do the same and give you the same. So you have to get something big on your credit profile to show them that you're a responsible borrower, and you can in fact hold that $10,000, $20,000, or $40,000 credit card because you have those other high limit credit cards on your credit profile. I hope that makes sense for you, Scott. I just gave y'all some serious game for the free ski, okay? PenFed is not on the list, and because I took it off because they're not really great with business owners. I'm a business owner, so you can use it if you're not a business owner, okay? But I'm not a fan of them because they've been doing some crazy stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about right now because we got some things pending. Just keeping it 100 with everybody, okay? Andrews Federal Credit Union is awesome. All right, what we got? Love Navy Federal Credit Union. I do too. I've been with them for a minute. I've got 3 of their credit cards. That's like a $40,000, $25,000, and a $15,000 credit card with them. So your son works for Michigan schools. Now also remember this. I'm not going to discriminate against any credit union, but the bigger the credit union, the higher the limits, because the more members means the more money they have inside of that credit union, if that makes any sense. Now, there are smaller regional credit unions. There's nothing wrong with those, but understand they don't have the same liquidity or same equity as these massive credit unions. That's why it's better to go with a bigger credit union. So I'm not familiar with Michigan schools and government credit union, but it could be a great one. Okay. I have Penn Fed, Navy Federal, and DCU. There you go. Home-based credit union. There's nothing wrong with that. But remember, more members, higher limits. That's what we want. All right. So I like this right here. I love this. Let's celebrate this person right here. For always, forever, for life. Okay. She's been cleaning up her credit and she just reached 660. It was a lot of keeping balances paid monthly and keeping utilization low on credit cards. Absolutely. Use only what you can pay off and pay it off. You do not have to have a lot of credit. You don't have to have debt to have a good credit score. This is the biggest misconception about credit, is you have to have debt to have a high credit score. You do not. You don't have to have 20 lines of credit to have a good credit score. As a matter of fact, statistically showing, it has shown us that people that had 3 to 5, maybe 6 lines of credit on their credit profile had higher credit scores. Because remember, every time you add a new line of credit, you're reducing your average age of credit. You need to let it grow. This is why you shouldn't be applying for credit all the time. You know, people think that credit is a crutch, credit is a savior, credit is gonna fix your life. No. You have to get your finances in line, change your habits, and start to build new habits, how to manage your money properly. Get your money in line, get your house in line, hold yourself accountable, and then work on your credit. Because you can fix your credit, and then 6 months down the line, you'll be right back in the same position because you don't have good money management skills, if that makes any sense. So get your finances in line. I love this. Everyone celebrate her. Give her a round of applause. She deserves it. She's working hard. We love that. We love to hear that. So yeah, let's see what we got. Yeah, you got to get approved to join the credit union. Yes, that's a lot. Where you at? Oh, we got. Would I say that Navy Fed is one of the top 3? Absolutely. Navy Federal is one of the best credit unions. It has its issues just like everyone else, but it is one of the best. Oh, this is a great one. I love this question right here. So give me 1 second. I just gave you the steps to building a strong credit profile. Someone just asked me this right here. I just gave you the sauce. If you were just paying attention, a credit union, that is your foundation, is your credit union. It all starts where you bank. Checking, savings, direct deposit, and a secured loan. Those items right there, remember, checking, savings, direct deposit, and a secured loan. Those 4 things are what's going to build a strong credit profile. Then you apply for a credit card with that credit union. After you've done all of that for a minimum of 6 to 8 months. 12 months is ideal. This is going to teach you how to be more financially responsible. We don't want to carry debt. We don't want to be in debt. We don't need to be in debt. Credit is not necessary for that. Understand that. Building a strong credit profile starts right there at the bottom. Stay away from all those crappy credit cards, First Premiers, Credit Ones, Open Skies. All those are trash. And I'm not going to say close them, but you have to make a decision as an adult. Okay, do I want to keep paying this monthly fee for this crappy credit card that gives me nothing? But if you close it, it's going to have a negative impact. Understand that. But that's how you build a strong credit profile. Now, here you go. The program that helps fix your credit that you're offering, does that work for the state of Georgia as well? Yes, it does. It covers every single state because it is a DIY program. So let's go over Dispute Beast real quick so we can show LaToya here how it works. So Dispute Beast is the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created. It is the most powerful because it is a one-click system. You upload your documents, then you click the button once. It creates and creates your custom letters. Then you choose to mail them, print them and mail them on your own, or you can use Dispute Beast Mailing Center inside, and it will mail them for you. And then doesn't matter what they say, how they react. You just sit back, when the round ends, the clock will let you know, hey, it'll send you an email. You need to refresh your credit reports, create your new round of letters, and then you send your new round of letters. It doesn't matter what they say. We keep it pushing. We keep attacking. It's a 100% money back guarantee. Now let's give a special shout out to Ashley. Ashley's credit score went up 218 points after 2 rounds. That's insane. And then we have Hope. Hope's credit score went up 201 points after 1 round, 99 points with TransUnion, 36 points with Experian, 66 points with Equifax. And then this is my favorite right here. This is my newly refreshed page. We have thousands of people with these crazy results. Thousands. If I had time, I would just go through all of them all night long. Let's just keep going through the whole list, okay? But let's start at the bottom this time. Amy's credit score went up 157 points after 1 round. Andy's credit score went up 46 points after 1 round. Devin's credit score went up 11 points. We're going to count him too. Robert's credit score went up 121 points after 1 round. Adavius, 25 points after 1 round. Benjamin, 135 points after 1 round. 1 point, Thaddeus, after 1 round, but it's really, truly 21. It's subtracting the ones that they lost. Now, understanding when you're working on your credit, disputing does not hurt your credit. Your credit score shouldn't drop unless you're doing something wrong, meaning you're carrying balances or you're adding new hard inquiries or you're adding new negative items. Now, moving on, Hope. We talked about her a second ago. Christopher's credit score went up 5 points. Sean's credit score went up 117. Charles, 26. I hope you guys get the gist here. I don't want to go through the whole list, but I just want to show you guys. You know, the proof is in the pudding. Dispute Beast is very powerful. All right, here we go. So I have a charge off with Capital One. It still shows on the bank app, and it's been several years that they're sending me emails to get a payment plan. Should I? All right, so let's talk about what happens once it charges off. Once a collection charges off, okay, remember that once a collection charges off, if you pay it, they're not going to delete it from your credit report. Original creditors are the credit card company, the bank. They don't delete from your credit report in exchange for payment. They're just going to update it to paid or settled. That does not fix your credit report, okay? It has to be deleted. I just dropped a link in the comment section for Dispute Beast for anybody. It's also going to be in the video description once the live is over. So you have to delete it. Unless they change the status from charge off to on time paid, which they won't. Creditors don't do that. So you paying it doesn't do anything. Now, understand this. If you don't pay it, you still can be sued. We're giving you 100% transparency here, okay? Because if the statute of limitations has not run out, which every state is going to vary. This is not legal advice or financial advice, and I'm not an attorney. Now, every single state is going to vary. But understand, let's say, for instance, in the state of North Carolina, the statute of limitations is 3 years. If I'm still within those 3 years, they can sue me in court. That is totally legal. I have something else for that also, how to push it into arbitration. But if they sue you in court, it's totally legal. But if you pay it, it stops them from suing you. If you pay the creditor directly, but it does not help your credit score in any way, shape, or form. Now, if the item is marked paid, charge off, it becomes harder to delete from your credit report because the credit reporting agencies use something called Metro 2 compliance reporting. And they have it explicitly said that anything that is marked paid should not be modified nor deleted. Do you see what I'm saying there? So now it makes it even more difficult to delete it because it's almost like it's cemented in your credit profile. Okay? So understand that paying it does not help your credit profile. That's going to have to be up to you. But understand it must be deleted in order for your credit score to rise. And you have to be doing other things on top of that, meaning your utilization is very low. You're keeping it low for your credit score to increase. Because if you're carrying a bunch of balances and then it gets deleted, your credit score may not rise because your balances are hurting your credit from your credit cards, only your credit cards. Oh, I love this right here. Let's put this on the screen. Just moved from Langley because of your videos from having Wells Fargo and Chime. Man, you done leveled up big time, fam. Big time leveled up. He went from Wells Fargo and Chime to Langley. Langley is amazing. Okay, I have an account with him also. It's crazy, right? But I love that. I love that story, man. Let's celebrate this guy right here. He went to Langley from Wells Fargo and Chime. That's amazing. Your life is going to be changed, fam. Keep pushing, keep working on it. I love that. I love stories like that, man. When people take action like that. Yeah, you can build your credit by using credit. It's like, well, why are you even in here? You're being negative, bro. So let's talk about this. Let's put up his comments and let's cover this. Yeah, you can only build your credit by using credit. It's a rigged system. It's rigged against you. Unless you just don't know how to use credit. Let's be honest. So let's be really clear. A credit card does not need to be used all the time. You can literally put your Netflix on auto payment and pay it off every month, and you're done. You're done. You're just simply done. That's all you got to do every single month. You can go into a gas station and buy yourself a drink and then pay it off, and you're done. That's all you have to do. You don't have to carry debt, but yes, you have to use your credit. You don't have to put yourself in debt. You don't have to go get a car loan if you don't need to. You don't have to get a mortgage if you don't need to. There are ways to get a home loan without any credit. Because I want everyone to understand here, either you're going to have a good credit score or you're not going to have a good credit score. Okay? You hear me again. Either you're going to have a good credit score or you're not going to have a credit score whatsoever. Let's say it again for everybody in the back that didn't hear. You're going to have a good credit score or no credit whatsoever. Because you don't need to be fighting consistently. Get rid of your credit. Stop using credit if it just doesn't make sense for you. I'm a proponent for staying out of debt. Stay out of debt, and your life is going to be much easier. You don't have to have debt to be successful in credit. But if you're not understanding how to continue to manage your finances, change your habits, and have better financial habits, then you have no business having any credit. So it's not rigged against you. You just got to know how to use it. It's just that simple. But again, we weren't taught this in school, right? Of course. Oh, my guy said he paid that. Yeah, that's painful, man. That's why they don't say don't pay them up. Don't pay them MFs. Yeah. It's like, it's not that we don't want you to pay your debt. Understand that. That's not what we're saying, but you got to understand what it means. I got pre-approved for credit for Visa for my teacher's credit union for $15,000 credit limit. Should I ignore this offer? Reasons for or against getting the credit card? All right. Hector, I love this. I love this, Hector. Hector's Interest in Coins. Huh? That sounds like an awesome channel. I need to go check that out, bro. If you're cranking out there. It depends. Do you feel comfortable with this credit card? Because I have, let me show you guys. Let me put this up on the screen, okay? I'm going to go full screen so you guys can see this real quick. This is one stack of my credit cards. And then I have other credit cards in my wallet. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that these credit cards make sense for you. You see what I'm saying? What I have doesn't necessarily mean it makes sense for you. So if it doesn't make sense for you, then don't get it. I know it sounds crazy. People are like, what? What does he mean? That really means that. So if you get a $15,000 credit limit, it doesn't mean, oh, I got $15,000 I can spend. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means you're a responsible borrower and they trust you. So if you're going to use it, if you're going to get it, then use it. It has to make sense for your lifestyle, Hector. I hope that answers your question. And remember, we want to have those high limit credit cards on our credit profile, because when you go from having that credit card, let's say hypothetically you decide you want to get a travel credit card. So now they're going to see you have a $15,000 credit limit. Now that other bank is going to be more opt into offering you a high limit credit card also. That's what we want. We only want high limit credit cards on our credit profile. John Valera, keep attacking, bro. Like you got to keep attacking until you get to the desired outcome. It's not going to magically do it. It depends on what's on your credit profile, what needs to be done. Do you need more things to be deleted? Do you need to lower your utilization? It could be so many factors. Okay. All right. What do you do if you're being harassed by debt collectors? All right. This is not legal advice or financial advice, and I am not an attorney. Got to say it again. If you're being harassed by a debt collector, you can send a very simple letter. It's called a refusal to pay. Okay? You literally say, I refuse to pay this debt because I am unable to, because I am broke. You send it certified mail. You send it to the debt collector. Now, the debt collector can only respond to you two ways: to let you know that they received your letter, or to let you know that they're going to sue you. And if they send you a letter telling you they're going to sue you, then they must sue you. Okay? Those are the only two ways that they can respond to you. Now, if they respond to you through email, they start calling you after you send that letter and you know they signed for it, send it certified mail with the return receipt. Let's repeat that. If a debt collector is harassing you, send them a letter that says, I refuse to pay you because I cannot afford this alleged debt. Super simple. Send it certified mail with return receipt so you have proof that they signed it. They can only contact you to let you know that they received your letter, or they can contact you to let you know they're going to sue you. If they tell you they're going to sue you, then they must sue you. If they don't, that's a violation also. Any other communication is a lawsuit. Reach out to me. I have a legal team that will go after debt collectors like this. We love to sue debt collectors that violate consumer laws. So let's put this up. Let's put this up on the screen. I love this. Just started dispute based, and I'm getting a lot of letters saying to verify. It doesn't matter what they say. Understand that. It doesn't matter what they say, because you have to understand you're up against the machine. There's no human being that's like, oh, let me see surgeon's letter right here. Hold on. All right, this letter right here. Oh, that's crazy. That dispute letter is crazy. No, man, you're up against the machine. The machine is trying to buy itself more time. It's trying to verify the information. It's been proven that it's not doing it properly. That's why you have to attack. Don't put any weight into what they're saying in those letters. You just gotta keep on attacking. Let me see. It depends on how they're harassing you, Sylvester. You gotta tell us how they're harassing you, bro. So there's no such thing as a different debt collector and different laws. The FDCPA covers all debt collectors. Okay, so what I stated, that covers everybody. Let me see. Can you do a video on student loans? Like, what are you trying to learn about student loans? Jesus, tell me in the comments. When am I coming back to Cali? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think I have anything on the books so far for Cali. I know I'm going to be in New York next week, Florida in May. It's probably going to be maybe June when I come back to Cali. There's got to be a YouTube event out there that I'm supposed to be at, most likely. So it'll probably be around June, July. A cease and desist, Sylvester, cease and desist is not the same as a refusal to pay. Understand this. You cannot tell someone to cease and desist because it's not the same. It's slightly different. Okay? A refusal to pay triggers different protections, and a cease and desist also triggers different protections. A cease and desist can definitely trigger a lawsuit. Okay? Always remember, people say, well, what's going to trigger the lawsuit? It depends on how much money you owe. Okay? It depends on how much money you owe. The more money that's owed, the higher potential you have for being sued. Nobody else is going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay? Let's see. So yeah, 3K is enough motivation to get sued, but it just depends on them. I can't tell you that, honestly. It's just going to depend on them. All right, let's put this up on the screen right here. This is a great one. Hector right here, our guy, he's talking about the $15,000 credit card. It's an 11.99% interest card. That's actually really good. The average interest rate in America right now is 28%. Okay, or is it 26 or 28%? That's pretty crazy. So I want everyone to understand, credit cards are not meant to be financial tools to propel you and give you more money. No, you're only supposed to use them for the bare minimum and pay them off in full every single month. So if you don't, if you use a card and you pay it off in full every single month, you don't pay any interest. Okay, everyone hear that? I'm gonna put myself up on the screen here. If you pay off your credit card in full every single month and you don't carry a balance, you pay zero interest. So that interest that interest rate right there doesn't matter. Just never carry a balance. Now remember, this is a great interest rate because the national average is 26-28%, which is insane. So this is the difference with a credit union. You're going to get a better rate with a credit union than you're going to get with a traditional bank, because traditional banks are making so much of their money from interest and fees, which, I mean, every bank does, even credit unions do. But at the same time, you got to understand that. Okay. It's possible to delete any type of item off of a credit report. It doesn't matter if it's a student loan, a charge off, a collection, whatever it may be. Everything has its possibility. But the question is, can it be deleted? Keeping it 100 with you. You won't know until you do the work. But it's the same thing with student loans. Even if you delete them, you still owe the money with student loans. Charla, this is a good one. Can you have a former name removed off your credit profile if it's not attached to anything? Yes and no. It's going to be up to the credit reporting agencies, because it's on there already. It got there some way, some shape or form. It got there. It's going to be up to the credit reporting agencies on what they want to do to it, because it was yours. Oh, this is a tough one right here. I disputed it. This is exactly why you don't do this. I disputed a Navy Federal inquiry that was not linked to an open account, and TransUnion deleted all 3 of my Navy Federal accounts. They refused to reinsert them, going on 6 months. Any tips? This is why, okay, hear me out here. We got to use common sense here, R. Lake. Love you, but I'm gonna teach everybody the game here. If I apply for a Capital One credit card, and I already have a Capital One credit card, but then I get denied, I'm like, screw this, man. I'm going to delete that hard inquiry from my credit report. If you attack that hard inquiry, then everything with Capital One that I already have existing is going to be in question. And then it could be deemed as fraud. That's why they removed it from your credit report, because you have those accounts and they're automatically going to say, oh, this appears like it's fraud. Let's go ahead and delete them. So it's going to be very difficult to get them to report. You're going to have to communicate more with Navy Federal and see if Navy Federal can help you. You got to be the nicest person you've ever been. And I'm willing to bet that you weren't that nice with TransUnion, bro. But I mean, I could be wrong. You could have been nice with them. They're just difficult to deal with. I'm just going to be honest with you, man. It's a very difficult situation. All right, here we go. This is a really good one. Oh, this is painful for me to read here. My mom has horrible debt. I'm always preaching her to save. She needs to raise her credit limit so she can get into equity of her house for a loan to pay off her debt. No, she doesn't need to. She doesn't need to raise her credit score. She needs to stop spending money. We need to have accountability. We need to hold ourselves accountable and understand that continuously adding more debt is not going to fix our issue. Our issues are finances. We're not managing our finances properly. We need to hold ourselves accountable. I'm here to help you and make you understand. Help your mom. It's not you. Daily dose of clarity. We're going to give your mom some clarity right now. She needs to stop applying for credit. You need to tell her, stop applying for credit. Stop applying for credit. Get it out of your mind that you're going to pull equity out of your house, because now you're going to put yourself in a very, very dangerous situation that you're going to say, all right, so I couldn't get myself out of debt, so I'm going to get this equity line of credit to pay off my debt. I'm not going to really pay it off. It's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle that your mother's not going to get out of if she doesn't stop borrowing and she just buckles down and gets out of debt. You got to tell her that, man. It's tough. It's tough when you see family members or people you care about, going down these crazy paths and you want to help them, but they just don't listen. So, yeah. All right, this is a good one right here. I like this one. Always keep your cards at 2% utilization on all cards. I don't believe that. Remember, we preach no debt. I don't care if it's $2. I don't care if it's $10. I don't care if it's $20. I don't care if it's $1,000. We don't want that debt. So this whole mindset that we have of keeping, 1 to 6% utilization is going to give you literally 10 extra points. Everyone write this down. Everyone write this down. it's going to give you 10, maybe at maximum 15 extra points. Yes, you heard me right. You heard me right. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I got it right here. I got it right here. Y'all are in for this one. This is going to be my finale right here, okay? I'm going to end on this one. And then I think my next live is going to be how to pay your credit cards. But I'm going to put this up on the screen right here so you guys can see this. This is amazing. Let's go. Let's go put it up on the screen. This is directly from FICO. I'm not supposed to have this, ladies and gentlemen, okay? But I took it, and I kept it, and I guard it with my life. All right, here we go. Let's put it up on the screen, everybody. Screenshot this, save this, so you have it for the rest of your life. Send it to your homies, send it to your friends. Send this video to your friends so they know this is exactly the truth about your credit score and how much actual utilization you can carry to squeeze out how many points. This is the truth right here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Now let's look at it right here. Outstanding debt is in the red square right here, ladies and gentlemen. Now at the very top, you have no revolving trade lines, means you have no credit cards. The maximum amount of points that you can have is 30 points. If you carry zero balance, zero outstanding debt on your credit cards, you can get a maximum of 55 points per the category of utilization. Okay? Utilization, okay, ladies and gentlemen, makes up how much of your credit score? 30% of your credit score. All right? It's very important to understand. So now if you go to 1 to 6%, you're going to get 65 points. Now, you see that little asterisk on there? I'm going to take this off the screen so you guys can see what it says right there. I'm going to take this other thing off the screen right here so you can see right there. So give me 1 second. Let me turn off this banner real quick. The box number represents the maximum points possible minus the actual points received. So if you already received part of those 65 points, you may not get the full 65. Okay, hear me again. If you already got those points, you potentially may not get extra points. Everyone's going to vary based on how long their credit reports are, their age, their utilization, how many credit cards, okay? So pay attention. Now, when you go to 7 to 19% utilization, you only get 50 points. When you go from 20 to 49% utilization, you get 45 points. You lose points the higher the balances that you actually carry on your credit cards. Do you see that? 90% or more, you're only getting 15 points. This is why your credit score is low, because you're carrying balances. But we want to preach and teach each other that it's not necessary to carry balances, because it's only a 10-point difference if you did not receive those points already. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to make or break it. And if you're stretched for 10 points, you're in a bad position. You need to refocus everything, stop using credit. Don't do any of that until you get your credit score above a 725. It doesn't matter how much of your credit cards that you use, everybody. Read this right here where it says outstanding debt. Outstanding debt. It doesn't say how many times you use your credit card, how much of your credit card that you use. It doesn't matter how much of your credit card that you use. What matters is the balance that reports. Let's write this down again. Let's get this in our head. What matters is the balance that reports. Pay off your credit card in full 2 to 3 days right before your statement closing date hits, and you are controlling your credit score. Let's do this again. Pay your credit card off 2 to 3 days before your statement closing date hits. And don't use a credit card for up to 7 days once your closing date hits. So let's say hypothetically your closing date is the 20th. I'm going to pay my credit card on the 16th. Once the 20th hits, I stop using my credit card for up to 7 days. Because the credit card company has 3 to 7 days to report your balance to the credit reporting agencies. So you're not losing points because you use your credit card. You're using points because you have an outstanding debt. See right there on the screen in the little red box? Does that make sense for everybody? Everybody give me a little hands up in the comment section if that makes sense for everybody. Because I want everyone to learn and grow here so everyone understands how to control your credit score. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? So yeah, listen, we've already been at it for an hour 19. I got to go to bed. I enjoyed my time with you guys. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Link is going to be in the video description for Dispute Beast. Link is going to be in the video description for Aura for a 14-day trial to protect your information, protect your identity, protect your family, fix your credit score, work on your credit, be better people, stay out of debt. We're going to stay out of debt. We're going to keep each other out of debt, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep everybody out of debt. We don't have to have debt to have beautiful credit scores. Okay, everybody? There we go. I see all those hands up. There we go. There we go. It's just that simple. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to simplify this every time I come to a live. Go out there, watch my channel on YouTube, Mike the Credit Guy. You guys know who I am. If you're on Facebook, go over there and follow me on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, thank you so much for coming to the live. I greatly appreciate everything you guys do. I appreciate the support so much. I love you. Have a good night.